When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
Hello. No, I was kidding.
It's weird, Toby. I was going to do the intro, but then you just jumped right in. But what I'm most worried about is that no one noticed.
Oh, come now. They noticed. The fans noticed. Our Riff Nation, they noticed. They noticed for sure. I'm sorry. Joe, go ahead, please. I look forward to this. Go ahead. Do it. Do the thing, Joe. Do the thing.
No, I just felt like I've just been submarined. Like this whole thing has just gone off the rails.
Oh my goodness.
It's almost kind of bringing, sad pandemic vibes.
Yeah, makes you want to melt. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Well, hello. Welcome to Riffs, I guess. We're just going to do a show today. So let's go.
Oh, Riff Nation, we are so happy that you have decided to spend a little bit of time with us today. Today, the song that we are looking to talk about, discuss in all of the ways, a song by the group called the Marías. And, it's interesting.
It must have been hard to find a bunch of people named Maria to throw in a band.
Man. That's the first thing I thought about, because I'm like, you know what? Maria is a whole lot more common than my name. Is a group called the Tobys. My God. I mean, you already had Tony. And I thought that was weird.
It'd have to be Toby. And
right.
All the different spellings.
Toby times 4. I don't know. It just gets really weird. But, well, Joe, I am so glad that you picked this song, because it kind of made me go into a little bit of a rabbit hole, right, if you will, to kind of...
I'm always here for a Toby rabbit hole. Take me on the journey, my friend.
You know what? You asked for it. I shall deliver.
Regale me.
So, October of last year, I'm busy doing all the things, campaigning and all the other things. And I used music as my way to escape. Saw an advertisement for new piece of material. And I always want to root for the underdogs. And in this case, it seemed like this artist, who was breaking away to do her own solo music, was a little bit of an underdog, right? Maria Zardoya. And I was like, huh. And she's from a group called the Marías. Now, this is not a group that I normally check for. I'm not super familiar with their work, but I've heard of them. I know that they're, I know they have a decent following. They've got a nice buzz. Listen to a couple songs on this album. I want to say the album's called Melt. The group, her artist name is Not For Radio. I don't know if it's just her or if it's a band.
It's just her. It's her. Basically, I think what she said for this project was, writing for the band, there's a little more care and attention to crafting the songs and, obviously finishing up a masterpiece and having input from everybody. And for this, she just said, I want to capture moments and not overthink it. So,
and we're going to circle back to that what you just said, capture moments, because I think that's important. So listen to like the first 4 tracks. And I think that's when I sent it to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, Joe, this is something that I would sample like all day. It's really interesting stuff. It gives me a retro feel, gives me like a hip hop jazzy fusion type feel. And I was really digging it. And I never circled back to actually listen to the Marías until you said, hey, we're doing this song. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, hey, this is.
Oh, it's the same. Yeah.
This is Maria. Right?
This is Maria.
The Maria.
the Maria. Do you ever hear the word Maria and not think of West Side Story?
No.
Okay.
No. Every time. Every time I hear, every time there once was a girl named Maria.
Absolutely.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
That and what Santana's Maria. It's another good one.
That too.
I feel like
West Side Story first, though.
For sure. Well, you always ask me this, Tobe, so I'm going to ask you because you stole the intro. So we're just going to, it's opposite day. It's just opposite day.
Well, hello.
well, hello. Do you like the track? What do you think?
Yeah, I do like the track. One of the things, again, I think a lot of it is context. I think this song in a vacuum, do I like it? Yeah, I think it's cool. Once you get the context of some of the things that are going on, I think that adds more flavor for me to like it. Looks like Maria, they started this band, Maria and the drummer, I want to say his name is it Josh?
Josh, yep.
And so they started the band 8 years ago. They met after some gig. He's doing sound. She was singing. And they met, started writing, soon after started dating, have been dating, and have been together for essentially 8 years, and recently broke up. And so after all of these albums that they put out, now they're not. And she's the type of artist, if you listen to her work, I feel like she's the type of artist, whatever she's feeling, she's going to write about. I get that impression. Because this song is, No One Noticed is it's a very personal song. It's a song where she doesn't have to say a lot of words to say a lot in the words that she's saying. I think the song is really good and kind of, again, it sent me down a whole rabbit hole of, I don't know, just kind of getting in my feels a little bit, made me want to go, look at all the rom-coms that I've looked at because
because Toby's been on a bit of a rom-com journey. He teed up the idea for this show. He said, we should do an episode of, top 10 rom-coms.
Yeah.
And then he was like, maybe 10 would be hard. Maybe we each do 5.
Yeah, 10's a lot. 10 is a lot.
But I know you just watched Definitely Maybe.
Definitely Maybe and Love Actually back to back.
That's a rom-com fiesta.
All in my feels. And this song to me it fit in the song. It fit in the vibe as one of the songs that happens or is played in the middle of, but it's almost like chord progression. You want it to resolve, but you're not. It just kind of leaves you there like, no one noticed. Oh my God, I'm noticing. I'm here. I see it. I'm a witness. See something, say something. I'm here. That's how it left me. And
well, it kind of makes sense because this song is in the songwriting process for this was a journey of several years. So to your point, they meet at a show back in 2015. They start working. And so now fast forward to 2020. They're living in an apartment. Basically, she said, we got up and we wrote every day because what else are we going to do? So we just get up and write songs. And then she said this chord progression, which is pretty common. It's like a 2-5-1. It's pretty standard progression. She's like, this is my favorite. And I just write lots of songs to that. And so the song, you can feel that sort of emptiness of the pandemic, that craving connection and realizing that we're all living in this virtual world and whatever. And then to your point, then they break up. And it's like, okay, are we going to still have a band? What are we doing here? And so she ended up calling a producer buddy that she knew, Gianluca Bucalati, and said, hey, I got this track, but I want to finish it. And so she took it over to him and they, basically spent, and this is what I love about, I know you can relate to this, Tobe. She's got the progression and she says, I really enjoy working with this cat because just sounds like he's a good listener. He's like, let's try it. Let's put it down. Let's do it. And then you have those moments where you're working on something, you get up and you go to the bathroom. And she's like, and I just started humming this melody in the bathroom and I didn't know where it was going to fit in the song. We threw it in, right? And so it's that genesis of creating this track. And then she calls up, I think his name's Jesse, the guitar player from the band. It's like, do you want to come lay down some guitar parts? And he's like, do we still have a band? I don't know. But he was willing to do that. And so it takes this like journey. And then several years, I don't know if it's several years, but a time passes. And this is, I think record labels, rightfully so, get a bad rap. But the fact that the label basically said, okay, we're sending you all to therapy, right? Sent the group to therapy, sent them to individual therapy, sent Josh and Maria to like couples therapy to basically like figure out how to
break up,
but still have a professional relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And appreciate and respect the creativity and the beauty of what you can create together. And so that was kind of the evolution. And then at the tail end, Josh kind of comes back into this track and adds some additional sensibilities around production and pacing and whatever. And so you've got this genesis from, this almost beautiful space in the pandemic where you're just kind of leaning into a relationship and creativity but still having that longing. And then all the things that happen in between before this song gets finally finished. And I think you can feel that in this. You can feel all of those things in this song, which I think is fascinating because without knowing the story, you get the sense. But then when you have the story, you're like, oh yeah, no, that checks out.
Yeah. This story is kind of like when you were telling that whole story, I can see this being an example, a story being told at an HR convention. Let's see, this is the reason we do not let colleagues date. This is the reason because of this. But there's also lessons that can be learned from all of this too.
It's not wrong.
It's true. No, it's not wrong at all. Look at this. It's a mess. Yeah. For one song, it took so long to put a song when with somebody else, it could have been, okay, done.
Right.
I will say this. It takes a remarkable amount of maturity to do what they did. A remarkable amount. And I'm going to put maybe unfairly so, but I'm going to put the lion's share. And when I mean the lion's share, I won't say lion's share. I'll say the majority of the credit I'm going to give. I'm giving 51% to Josh. 51% of the credit to Josh. Okay. I'm so glad that you asked.
Because we don't know the story. We have no idea what happened.
We have no idea what happened. Now, but I would like to, I look at clues, okay? In any crime, there's DNA that's left behind. Now,
okay. All right.
If you look at the words from her album Melt and the song called Puddles,
yeah,
okay, the words very clearly show that, hey, she was wrong. She talks about how she did him wrong.
Oh, really?
So picture this. I see you at the foot of my bed as you watch me undress. I want to be next to you. Round the bend, I'll follow. Wish your hands in my hair. I'm seeing double. Really scared of. Maybe it's not. Is it this song?
Oh man, you just took me on a journey, and I'm waiting for. And it's not even the.
No, now it's not even the right song. Is it the next song? Is it the? There's a track. One of her. Well, you know what? There's a song called Daisy. It's the next song. And she talks about she wants to cry and, feeling about how I did you wrong. And I don't know if Daisy is a female. I don't know if Daisy's a flower that she's personificating or something like that. And maybe I'm stretching to a sense.
Right. And even if she's talking about somebody else, it could not be Josh. It could be some other person. We don't know. But I like how you're following the context clues, Toby.
Thank you.
Yes.
I watched Blue's Clues when I was a kid. So, no, not when I was a kid. When I was babysitting Shiv, I should say.
I was like,
I shouldn't say babysitting because he is my son. So there's so many things wrong with that. That's just called parenting. So many things wrong with that last statement. But yeah, whosever fault it was, right? Whosever fault it was, I give the other party. Like at least 51%, like props for like being like mature, because regardless of whose fault it is, this is tough for all parties involved. Sure. I mean, in a relationship, they weren't married, but can you imagine just the friends, like, whose side are they on? It's just like a divorce. Like, hey, does she get the friends? Do I get the friends? She get the dog? I get the dog. And it kind of reminded me, you remember, No Doubt.
I was just going to say that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Gwen Stefani was involved. I want to say, is he the bass guitar?
Yeah, Tony. What's his? I don't know his last name, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I remember, I was like, oh, that's cool that they're dating. And then,
Hey Baby comes out. Do you remember that?
yeah.
Because I think that was around the time when they broke up, and I could be wrong on that, but basically I remember Gwen talking about that song and basically watching the shenanigans that go on backstage, right? That's what that track's about. Like, all the girls, the guys get the girls in the back, right? So there's all the groupies and fans kind of coming up, and the guys are digging it, and she's just kind of this voyeur watching all of this stuff go on. And so I guess me following context clues, it's like, okay, so maybe that's kind of what happened is Tony was like, this is fun. I don't want to be, I could be totally I don't know either, Toby. We're all speculating.
All speculating. But one thing I do know is that I like her writing style. And I do like
Maria.
I like her vocal style. I looked into her influences, and she mentions Erykah Badu. She mentioned, among others, Erykah Badu and Billie Holiday, which makes
Selena, big one.
Yeah. So all that makes sense just because of her style. She's got a very, listeners, this is the one album, I've never done this to any other album. I actually slept to it. Actually had it on and slept to it. It's such a dreamy vibe that you can absolutely sleep to it. And I'm not saying it's boring music. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's very peaceful, dreamy type. And the way that she sings, but she's not belting out notes, very stylist. And it's almost like something like a whispery, breathy type of singing. And she can sing. She's got good control, really good control of harmonies as well. Yeah, I thought that was, I liked it. I tested it out yesterday. I said, will this keep me up? Will this keep me awake? I'm going to put it on and we'll see what happens. Fell asleep to it.
I think it's vibe music. And whether that's relaxing and sleeping vibe, or I've actually just had the album playing off and on over the past week. Because their first album, what was it? Cinema. I don't know that it has a bunch of bangers, but it's definitely got a different vibe to it. There's a little more aggression, again, is too strong a word, but so this one is a little more lush and atmospheric, and I think you can do a lot of things to it, whether it's just I'm cleaning the house, or I'm falling asleep, or I want to get some kind of focused work done. And you can also sit down and give it active listening and listen to some of the layering and some of the interesting production and musical choices they're making. I think this is, so listeners, Toby and I have decided that we're going to release a cover of this. And the song itself is literally 3 chords with some, minor permutations. And I think this is an excellent lesson. Toby, what have I been saying about Taylor for a long time?
She has a formula.
and it doesn't take much to move that formula. And again, this song features a major 7th chord and a dominant 7th chord instead of just a major chord. And that's what gives it part of that jazzy feel. And it's not much. It's literally the exact same thing throughout the entire song. But how do you get that flavor and that nuance? And that's by playing with some of those voicings, playing with some of whether it's that really cool piano harmony that kind of runs off and on, whether that's that. So apparently that guitar line that kind of comes in after the first verse was originally a synth line. And she was like, hey, come in and add this as a guitar part. And I really loved how that came out. So there's in a lot of ways, it can be almost more difficult to write a simple song because you want to overproduce it, because you want it to do lots of things to it. And like any art, you have to know when to say when and just say, it's good, it's done, let's let it be. So it was fun to sit down and play with it yesterday, and even just recording. So, to peek behind the curtain on the process, I just sat down with guitar, went through it, did a couple of passes, laid down a couple of solos. Also, I could send it to Toby and get his golden pipes, and I cannot wait for this to come back to me.
I appreciate your efforts, buddy. I knew as fast as you did it, I was like, oh, you got right to work. I knew you got right to work.
And it was fun because it was literally about capturing a feel. And so I just got to sit down and play with, I'm looking over at my reverb pedals and my delay pedals and just in real time start to use some of those as an instrument. Because you have so much space and opportunity when it's just such a simple song to say, how do we make this flow and feel and evoke the vibe and give that lushness, like pay homage to the original track. But, obviously we're going to sound very different than the track. And I want it to be equally cool, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So
it's a hypnotic track though, dude.
There it is. That's a great word.
It's a hypnotic track. And I think that it's very intentional. Like you said, it's really not much to it. Like initially when I hear songs like this, I let it play over and over, just trying to get my first impression out. You like it or not? Yes. How much do you like it? I like it this much. Okay. And why do you like it? What's wrong with it? What's right with it? What's working? And I just let it play over and over and over again. And I'm humming the melody. And I was like, wow, this music doesn't change for the entire thing. I could literally start the verse at any given point. Yeah. It doesn't matter, but there are other things that she pulls in and takes away. And the way that she does it is very, very smooth and very unobtrusive and very trippy. It's trippy. It's trippy. It's hypnotic. It epitomizes vibe music. It's totally that. In fact, she even has an interview. She says she loves creating music and then listening to it with really good headphones while tripping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she literally. And I was like, fair. Like I have a cosmic cookie and listen to this. I can totally see your afternoon.
Take you on a journey.
Yeah, that'll take you on a journey for sure because it's a lot. It's very well layered, but doesn't feel heavy-handed. It doesn't feel heavy-handed. It's intentional. It's nice. And I agree. Sometimes making a simple song, right? Let's use that in quotation marks, is harder to do than what it would seem, So, yeah.
This episode of Riffs on Riffs is brought to you by DistroKid, your ultimate partner for taking your music to the next level.
With DistroKid, uploading your songs or albums to online stores and streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music is easier than ever. Plus, you can easily pay your collaborators with splits and send large files securely to anyone with Instant Share.
And guess what else? You can get a YouTube official artist channel for free via DistroKid. You can send credits to stores, and you can use Hyperfollow to promote your release.
DistroKid has everything you need to succeed in the digital music landscape.
But that's not all. DistroKid now offers a convenient mobile experience with the DistroKid app, available on iOS and Android.
With the app, you can manage your releases, track your streaming stats, and even withdraw your earnings, all from the palm of your hand. And for the artists looking to perfect their sound, there's Mixia. With Mixia, you can put the finishing touches on your tracks in minutes, ensuring they sound polished and professional every time.
And if you need to share large files securely with collaborators, producers, or playlist curators, look no further than Instant Share. It's free to send up to 1 gigabyte of files, and your music will stream at the highest quality, making the best impression possible.
So why wait? Elevate your music career today with DistroKid and unlock a world of possibilities.
Riffs on Riffs listeners get 30% off their first year at DistroKid by going to distrokid.com/VIP/riffsonriffs.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
It's interesting.
So let's talk about color in music. I tend to think of music very visually because I'm just a highly visual person. And so their first album, Cinema, there was this big red vibe to it. And for this one, to kind of evoke the submarine, underwater, lush vibes, they've shifted to all of these blue and muted navy and right. And Maria was born in Puerto Rico, moved to Georgia. And she said she wants to work with a Spanish director. And I don't know that I know any of his movies. Pedro Almodovar. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. My apologies. And then I was looking at some of his films, and apparently he worked a lot with Penelope Cruz and oh my gosh, what's his name? This is horrible. Oh, Antonio Banderas. I was like, the guy from Spy Kids, which also shows you. I'm like, nope, that is not what he's most known for. So I'm like, okay, I kind of want to go back and check out this director's work because apparently he's big on utilizing color in very intentional ways. And which also reminds me, Toby, of RRR and just the oversaturation of that whole Bollywood vibe anyway, and the very specific color grading. But I love this concept of, you know how Ed Sheeran does math signs for his albums. So I think starting with, I'm sure they didn't start with the theme of a color. I think it's more, we're creating this music and what does it feel like? Sure. Oh, this feels blue, as opposed to our last record. So if you're going to make a color album, Toby, color would you pick first? If you had to pick one color and say, I'm going to write an album. It
would be blue for sure.
Would it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would definitely be blue. I love blue. I think blue is it's such a cool color. And it's a color that, you're not getting hyped to it, but I can see, I see, or I envision speakeasy vibes with blue. We're not asleep. No, we're chilling. We're sitting in the pocket of chill. I agree that there is definitely that the color matches this. And if you notice, she kind of carries that on even into her solo project, the Not for Radio, because it's green in that she wears black and has a green backdrop behind her. But I don't want to get any farther in the conversation without asking you what your color would be if you were to do work to kind of represent. What would the color be?
Oh, boy. I mean, my default is going to be orange because that's my favorite color. And it'd be interesting to explore what that is because I don't think it's a very different than your speakeasy vibes. Maybe it allows me to gravitate towards the funk and do some of those things that I think would be a little more upbeat, a little happier, a little fun. And I think you can do some potentially quirky things with orange and maybe mix genres and so it would probably it would probably just be some version of me that is unleashed in the orange stratosphere. Because I think we talked about this in a previous episode. I tend to always have a voice in my head that says, what is the audience going to think? What is the public? Like I'm always kind of writing. And I think if I said, just go write an orange album, I kind of wouldn't care. I'd be like, well, this makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally hear you. And I think it's good to know that about yourself. And I really respect artists who recognize that about themselves. I mean, I feel, there's a couple things that really stand out to me about the Marías in general, like the fact that they all agreed to go to band therapy. I just think is wonderful. I was like, okay, that's amazing. Would the Jonas Brothers have ever broken up had they gone to therapy in the first place? Would it have ever happened? And to me, I look at that as being, we got, losing friendships to me that's hard, especially over business. That's hard. You have the business impact and you have the loss of a friend. You tours and things like that, they bring you so close together. And now that's just totally gone. With brothers, I mean, that had to be 10 times worse. I mean, could you imagine being the parents of that in the holidays? And some of them were in relationships and getting married and thinking about having kids. I mean, you have all of that. And it could have all been solved with therapy, or at least steps being taken, with therapy. But the color theme, I feel like, okay, so these guys went to therapy. They get a good idea of who they are. They have a really good, I look at a lot of their photos, and I look at a lot of artist photos, and I'm like, okay, cool. They're standing the regular artist pose, whatever, looking like they're fearless or just cool or sophisticated, trying to be sexy. Marías, they do it right. And I think, they just have a good, they know who they are. They know who they are. I mean, it's just like they got it. They know it. If it's a black and white photo, if they're underwater for this, they're underwater, holding breath and holding the pose. I'm like, I see y'all. I
think she's got a film degree, or at least a film background.
Makes
so,
sense.
I mean, it all kind of checks out that way. So here's the other funny thing. And I'm still baffled by this. And I think they must have changed the rules, but they've been around for 10 years. And they were nominated for Best New Artist for the Grammys this year. And I mean, and I saw them, I think, at the VMAs or something, and they were saying, not sure why, but we're obviously honored to be nominated. And it's a great experience and all of the things, but we're not new. I guess we're not going to solve this problem, but. And then the Grammys did them dirty because they, like CBS flashed Addison Rae as like the name of while they were performing. And it was like, nope, that's not right. So, and yeah. I think that maybe correlates to what their career potentially will be, because other than being on soundtracks or, having a TV, whatever placement, which could blow up. They're not exactly writing, the pop anthem for the summer or anything like that, which is great. We need their music. We need artists like this. Mm-hmm. But if you look at their Billboard, I think they've entered the charts with 5 different songs. They've never been in the top 10, but they just stay on the charts for several weeks. I think this one was on the charts for 41 weeks or 42 weeks or something like that. So I think they're just going to have a solid presence. It'll be one of those bands where the cool kids will be like, oh, do you like the Marías? But I'm not sure that they're ever going to be a huge icon, which again, great.
Yeah. I don't think they're bitter at all. At least they don't give me the impression that they're bitter. I think they're fine. They're
making the music they want to make.
They're making the music they want to make. They are mood music makers, in my opinion. They started, and it makes so much sense now. Like you told me that, well, she's got a degree in like film and, film photography, something like that. Okay. Makes sense, because her and Josh initially, like their first couple of deals, they were just trying to make music for TV placements. So she's a person that can look at the scene and make music for that. I mean, she's, empathic probably to a certain extent, and has the ability to be able to put what she feels, on paper. And it works, because I'm telling you, concentrating on that subconsciously. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I want to watch Definitely Maybe again. I'm going to watch that movie one more time. The little girl's name is Maya in there. Man, I'm telling you, tears in my eyes from some of the stuff that she was saying. I was like, oh my God, girl, hurry up and get past this scene. I'm not, it's such a good movie, but it has those elements in it. Here's the other thing about this group. So I'm doing some writing for this book, right? And sometimes I tried writing at the library. The library was cool, but I like switching up my location a little bit. I know that you got your spots that you like to write at, this wine place.
But you need some novelty now and again, just to get different vibes.
Just a different vibe, sit at a different bar, different bartender, where you know them really well or you don't know them, but you're not going to be bothered, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm listening, I'm just writing, and this song comes over the speaker, and I'm listening to it. I was like, man, that is something. I know that. I know what that is. I Shazam it, and it's a song by the Chromatics. I think the song was called Cherry by a group called the Chromatics. And it happened to be a track that Schoolboy Q had sampled before. And I was like, to find samples in the wild is fantastic. It's one of my favorite things to do. Everybody looks at me weird because I will literally get up because there's so much going on in the kitchen. I'm sitting at the bar. Someone's
hold your phone up to the speaker or something?
No, yeah, I do even better than that, dude. I go to the bathroom. It's in the bathroom. If the speaker's playing, I just go Shazam it in the bathroom, right?
Brilliant.
Good acoustics and make it happen.
That's smart.
And I was like, oh my God, that's it. It made me feel so happy. But this is one of those tracks that I can absolutely see hearing it in the wild for the, at a spot, sitting down at a nice little diner, and this song comes on like, and that is typically how music like this and Everything But the Girl and like even Olivia Dean tracks before the hype, hype. That's how you would have heard of groups like that. That's how I heard of Lake Street Dive. Same way. It's like what is this? This is fantastic. And then
I think that's how I think there's Elder Island is a group I discovered that way. I was like, okay, this is a vibe. This is and same thing. But I'm going to steal that go to the bathroom trick because I get real annoyed when
I do too.
You can't tell everybody to shut up,
yeah,
right?
Be quiet. Hey, you over there, put your eggs down, put your fork down, right? So that you can hear this track. I got to Shazam 10 seconds, everyone.
Please, can we just
seconds?
get a moment? Yeah.
That way you don't look like a weirdo, because we're rather, outside of being men of a certain age, we're also men of a certain height as well.
That's true.
And us,
that's true.
Like calling a lot of attention to ourselves, look like I'm trying to wave a plane down, right? Just trying to get my Shazam to work.
Toby, if we were in a band, would we have to call it the Tobys? Is that
no?
Would you ever want a band named? Because who is? I feel like this has happened. What's the band? I'm just trying to think of. Okay, so I like Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine, right?
Yeah.
I think Miami Sound Machine was the band before, sure. And then it kind of shifted. And I know this has happened before, and I feel like I've heard stories where some bands are like, "Hey, absolutely, like push this talent front and center," and some bands are like, we're a band. This kind of sucks." So I think this is one of those spaces where you might need to go to band therapy, just to navigate what we're going to call it.
Bands are hard, dude. Bands are hard.
Yes.
That is, you talk about some stress, so many different personalities. The bigger the band, the more difficult. Everybody's got an opinion, and especially with a talented band. Because a talented band, and if you're the vocalist, you literally only do one or two things if you write. You sing, and you're not working. It's a different amount of work, like for the drummer. It's a different amount of work, I feel, for the bass player. And they have their ideas too. And just depending how the writing process goes, shoot, they could have 2 or 3 bands that they're playing with as well. And they can, right? That's their right. But it always feels like they're stepping out on you. If to the immature bandmate, it feels like they're stepping out on you, because you can't, it's hard to serve, 2 masters or 2 endeavors equally. It's tough. You got to be kind of all in, like, especially with different genres and things like that. And I've been in bands before where, when I was in that rap metal band, the drummer really liked drum and bass music. Like he really liked live drum and bass music. It's totally different from thrashing and things like that. It's totally different. And I'm like, dude, wouldn't you rather be just doing that? It's like, yeah, dope, but I think this could actually, catch on,
Yeah.
I always think that's interesting.
Well, and kudos to this band for being mature and really supporting, her doing that for radio. And she's been pretty clear. She's like, I think she said, the band will exist forever. We're good. This is just a side thing for me to think through some other stuff. But then to have your band members say, it's amazing, go listen to it. She's doing great work, and not be threatened by it. I think that's the maturity thing. It's recognizing that there's no limit to great songs and great ideas. And if you want to explore an outlet over here, go for it. And we'll come back here when it's time, and we'll continue to do our thing. So I think, yeah, easier said than done. And I applaud them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, music is, it's art. Art, no matter how it's presented, is literally meant to be shared. It is, whether it's, whatever it is, it's a part of culture, and culture is meant to be shared. It is meant to be shared, to be looked at, to be tasted, to be experienced. And it, I like the cultural aspect of this angle, like, from her angle, like Maria, she's born Puerto Rico. She's got, she does songs in Spanish and English. She has a song with Bad Bunny. She's got other songs. I'm like, I don't know. It's just kind of like what you mentioned with the RRR movie. We're just so used to American artists, and just seeing things in this way. Sometimes when you see something from another perspective, it just hits you different. It's like, oh, like Olivia Dean. I don't know if you've seen like a lot of the hate that she's been getting. She gets a lot of love. You're
For
about to say,
what?
I love.
What could you hate about that woman?
I love how upset that you are. Because I was the same way. Like, what is there to talk about? She is a beloved new artist. Like, what are we talking about? Anyway, a lot of people are saying that the music is like elevator music. It's boring. It's just like,
okay. All right.
but it's not that. It's just, she knows herself very well. She sits in the pocket and does her thing every time. I mean, just in that pocket. That video I showed of her singing that Stevie Wonder song.
Oh, so good.
It's so good, but she's not gonna do a Beyonce. She's not going to do that. She knows herself very well. She's not trying to be, and there's nothing wrong with Beyonce, right? I'm not saying, it's just like she is this type of artist. This is her style. And that is it. You like it or not, whatever. Just, and I think you have to know who you are. And Olivia knows who she are. I think who she is. The Marías, they know who they are. And these artists, I feel like you can collab and share as much as you want. It's like, here it is. This is me. And, I think Alicia Keys is like that too. It's just like, I know what everybody else is doing. I'm not doing that. I'm going to sit here on the piano and I'm going to play my song and that's that,
It just baffles me. Just appreciate that thank God we've got so much different stuff from all over the place. I don't have to like it all. There's plenty of pop artists I'm like, I don't get it. I don't like it. Plenty of artists, period, that I'm like, I don't get it. You know what I don't do? I don't listen to them. I find things that I want to listen to. And that's, because I appreciate that there are other people, buddy, who is a huge Nickelback fan.
Yeah.
And it still will go back and listen to those albums. And I was messing with them. And apparently Limp Bizkit has a new song out. It's terrible, in my opinion.
Sure.
And so I sent that to him and he was like, yeah, they should have stayed in the 90s or early 2000s. And I was like, yeah, if that. But that's the point. Like, there are people who love this stuff. Mm-hmm. More power to you. Go listen to it. If it makes you happy, that's why these artists exist. Enjoy it. I have the benefit of choice and the freedom to listen to whatever I want to. Thank God for that. I don't have to go around hating on everybody else, except maybe Kraftwerk.
Yeah. But I thank God for Kraftwerk to this extent, because so many people have loved their stuff and they have inspired the new generation of artists, the next generation of artists who I do love and adore. I don't get it either, but there it is.
Like, we don't want to make music that doesn't sound like music, so we're gonna.
It's yeah. I mean, people are weird, but I'm glad that's not keeping people from making the music that they want. One of the things, I guess, the similarities between this music that I find myself connecting with, like I said, Marías is not my favorite band or anything like that, but sure. I do appreciate what they do. And I certainly love Olivia Dean as well, but there is a connection. It's almost a deeper connection for me when the artists write their own music. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's just a vocalist, it's like, okay, somebody else is writing it. Got it. Still appreciate it. Whitney Houston didn't write, she didn't.
But she performed the hell out of those tracks.
My God.
Because she was able to embody them. Even though she didn't write it, she was able to put herself like she did write it.
Right.
As opposed to, I think, sometimes an artist can be like, I can perform this and I can make it sonically great and technically great, but I don't know. I don't think, to your point, if you write it, then you can feel that authenticity come through on the track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's almost like method acting, right? For some people, I think like Whitney was a good job at almost method acting. Like, I didn't write it, but I can feel it. Instead of just playing the part, just, the role. But you have other artists, man, they wrote the piece, and they, I think, you say what you want about, Lin-Manuel, right? He wrote it, and was actually in it, and it felt different. He didn't have to sing the best. He didn't have to rap the best, sure. But you feel it. He wrote it. There's something about that.
There's something about that. Yeah. Okay. Well, we didn't write this track, but we are going to release a cover here in the next week or two.
Yeah,
whenever it clears. Assuming I assume it'll clear processing. We're certainly not doing it to make all the money. The Marías will make all the coins. So go and support them and listen to the Silver Foxes version of No One Noticed when it comes out. And we have increased the YouTube presence, and people are finding us there. The video versions of this episode is on Spotify. Also, Apple I think they're playing a little catch up, but they just announced that they're going to be releasing video versions of podcasts as well. So, certainly if you enjoy just having the audio in the eardrums, great. But if you want to see Toby's handsome features and red beanie in this particular episode, then give the video a try.
Hey, listen, here's a call to action, people. We work with corporate and businesses, so we got to have a call to action. This episode, between now and the next episode, if you can share this pod with 2 of your good friends you feel that would appreciate this, we would in turn really, really appreciate that from you, and leaving a review as well, if possible. If you can do that, it means the world. We love what we do, and we love hearing from people that enjoy the pod as well. So thank you so much for all the people that have been supporting. Just that simple ask, share it with a couple people, and let
us know if you'd like us to change our band name to the Joes. I feel like that's real catchy.
We can do that. I think the Joes might already be taken, though. Quiet as kept. I think it might already be taken. I'll have to look it up and see.
I feel like it's a great name. So, the Joes. Yeah.
Well, that's our episode for today, folks.
That's it. Keep listening. Huzzah!